Hello, welcome back to Blue Crescent Tarot. My name is Deanne, and in today's video I'm going to be responding to Sandra at the Whispering Well. This is a video response to her hashtag that she created called Lockdown Helpers. So I thought, what better way to continue on my momentum for my new channel than to jump in with a brand new tag. I believe she created it yesterday, since my first video was a video response to a tag that Simon had created over a year ago. It just really worked out well though, being my first tarot, just had to have that be my first video. So for a little more current tag, and because we are all kind of in this crazy scenario right now and doing what we can to keep spirits high and keep our mental health, being aware of our mental health and keeping things in check however we can. So the first thing I wanted to share, this was created by Benebell. It has a fancy name and I can't think of what the name is right now, but I'll hold it up here away from the window. I'm learning from last time. So the font is kind of light on this. The actual contents of this planner were created again by Benebell, and I will put her link information in the description of this. But the really cool thing, well, there are several cool things about this. This is the first year that I got a tarot planner, and after a little bit of research, I just really kind of fell in love with this one. You can choose your cover art and your font, and if you want text on the front or whatever, through the printing. And I believe it was lulu.com. I might be making that up. I will go back and check, and I will put that information in the description as well. But basically, the contents of the planner are created by Benebell, and then you can choose, you can customize the cover. I think you can, with the different printing options, you can kind of do whatever you want with it. But the one that she suggested, you could do a couple different sizes, and I wanted the big one because I just love this kind of full notebook size with the spiral bound. So these things you can all choose is what I'm getting at. But the inside includes, oh, and I should mention, I have a Marie White quote on the front, creator of the Marielle Tarot. And so this is from her book that accompanies her tarot deck. And it says, "In the blackness that was the tower, the star will guide you home." Marie White. So I'll try to hold this up here so you can see that a little more closely. So that's what I chose for the front. And then on the inside, you send, when you get these planners, you send Benebell some information, your name, birth date, birth time, all of that, so she can create a birth chart for you, which is the beginning of a birth chart as well as a solar return. So I gave my full name, which is now 4 names, and then I have my little numerology stuff underneath. But so this is a whole you know, overview for 2020. That's the front page, and then I have my natal chart, and again, this comes with your planner. Benebell works that up for you. I've added some notes to this front page, and then you also get a solar return chart for the year. Not really sure how. I'm just working with a GoPro, so I don't have anything reflected back to me, so I can't really see which areas I'm showing you, but I'll get used to that. So basically this, I want to say this whole thing was $25, and it comes with a birth chart. So like, really, how can you go wrong with that? It has all kinds of really cool information in it. Part of the reason I chose this planner because it's a great study tool, as well as has lots of room in the weekly to write out different things. And basically I was just using this for my daily draws. So I was doing a daily tarot and a daily oracle. I kind of fell off the wagon with my daily draws back when this whole public health crisis kicked off. So was a little stressful transitioning to working from home and everything like that. Everything just kind of went to hell and I didn't do my daily draws for a while, but I'm kind of getting back on track with that and just kind of drawing when I feel like it. And then when I can shift back into that daily mode, I will. I'm getting close to that. So it has an annual plan. It has a year-end reflection, all kinds of cool things, different categories for you. And so I just felt like it was kind of the guidance I needed in terms of a planner. Let's see. So then there's a cartomancy section for the months. I have some stickers in here just to correspond to the different suits. You'll see I did one page and not the other because I don't know what happened. I have a 2-year-old. He probably came running up and wanted something, and so only half of this has stickers. But basically I have, I typically do my year ahead reading for myself, and for 2020 and for last year, for 2019, I also ordered a reading from Simon at the Hermit's Cave. And so I have his card and then my card for each month from March to March. So that's kind of how I view my new year. I always kind of give myself January and February. That feels more like the ending to me. And then that little promise of spring that we typically get in March kind of it is where I kick off my new year. So I think that's about all that I'll say for this because I could go on forever. But oh, let me just show you. So this also has moon phases and what do they call them? Not primary planets, but it has the moon phases, and there's a word, can't think what it's called, not the visible planets, something like that. But for the month of February, each day we have where the sun is, where the moon is, where all of these things fall that you can just look at every day, right? Some people use apps and things like that for their astrology notes, and that's great. I'm just a book person. I'm a paper person, and I love just having this here. I can look at February 13th and see where everything is, you know, moon in Libra, great. It's just a chart right here, and I'm in this, or was in this, every day anyway. Then it also has the monthly calendar. I should do it this way, away from the window. So basically it was just really set up well. Oh, and then I'll show you one weekly so you have an idea. So here's just Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, the space that you get for that. And then typically I would write in here, what is this, November, so nice and blank for you. So I would write in here my tarot for the day, my oracle for the day, and any additional notes. Some days I do a bigger reading. I'll put those little notes over here on the side. There's plenty of room for me to kind of have the Cliff's Notes version of my cards in here. So again, I know I said I was done talking about it, but there's all kinds of info in here. Runes, geomancy, I don't even know, Kabbalistic chart, information about numbers, elements. There's Lenormand, just grids in here with definitions for the cards. So all kinds of stuff. And if it's not so much that if you don't read Lenormand, let's say it's just a couple pages, so it's not really taking up this huge amount of space, but it has it there as kind of a quick guide reference. So this is the first thing that's been getting me through lockdown, because even though I fell off the train with kind of using this on a daily basis, I'm getting back to it now, and I'm very happy that I brought this home from work when we transitioned into working from home. So have the planner as kind of the basis. I'll try to speed up here so I'm not being crazy. So I guess the next thing that's kind of similar to that is my little Pusheen planner. It's also a 2020, isn't it cute? So this started out, I was noting my tarot daily draws in the Benebell planner, and then was putting my oracle cards in here. I still am kind of doubling up and doing both, but this has more turned into my Lenormand book because I transitioned from kind of working with the bigger spreads. While keeping that going, I wanted to get Lenormand into my daily practice as well, which again has been tapering off, but I'm getting back to it, right? So anyway, in here, let's look at June. Okay, look, floating in a boat. There's all these big pictures in here, so cute, that I love. And then there's enough space on the dailies to write oracle card information in here, or now it's looking more like a 3 or a 5 card Lenormand. And then on some of the pages, there's note pages in it. And then I use these types for my big, grand tableau readings or anything like that. So let me show you another cute page just so you can see. Here's Pusheen's Guide to Being Fancy, right? Super helpful, super fancy. That's when you have a unicorn and a top hat. It sparkles around your head, right? Okay, so anyway, this is really cute, and this is my was Oracle, now Lenormand planner. Had to have it. Next, there's one more sort of tarot related book, and that is the Wild Unknown Journal. And I haven't used this a lot while on lockdown, but I did crack into it. This was kind of the first thing I went to. The first couple weeks I was sort of just head kind of spinning and a little numb to things, or overly emotional, I guess, if that's a thing. Just really kind of having these mood swings about the whole health situation, worried about lots of things, like many of you maybe are or were. So those first couple weeks were definitely difficult for me. It was at the end of the first or second week, I think, that I thought, I'm gonna grab my Wild Unknown journal. I'm just gonna start at the beginning and see what I can do to kind of ground myself. So it was actually while we were watching a movie, I cracked this open and I just filled out one page. And so again, while I haven't been using it a ton, it was the first thing that sort of pulled me out of my doom and gloom about everything. So to shift that, I was happy to see one of the first pages, and the first page that sort of looked like an activity is called What is Seeking You? So I filled this out while I was watching a movie and just kind of used it to focus and draw in, positive things that I wanted to bring into my life, because whatever you are seeking is seeking you, right? So I have divinity, authenticity, harmony, happiness, fond memories, wellness, joy, patience, guidance, all of these kinds of things. I came up with something different for each one of those spokes of the sun, and that is something that really helped me, especially in the beginning. So if you haven't seen this, it's really kind of cool. There's a section that has a different word on each page. You can write in it, draw in it, collage on it, really whatever you want. Some of them have designs, some of them are blank, some have words, some are more detailed in their instructions than others, but really cool. I'm not sure if this is still available. I believe it is. I bought it several months ago, direct from the Wild Unknown site. But anyway, this is a really awesome tool, and again, was helpful to me back at the beginning of this whole situation. So then what do I have here? Let's go to Story in Color Lenormand. So I will hold this up here for you. This is the Story in Color Lenormand by Kelly Fitzgerald, and I will put her information in the description. I also have the Story in Color Lenormand Mini. Oh my gosh, look at these. Aren't they just amazing? Oh, okay, so used a lot of Lenormand decks, but during this time especially, I've been kind of, I've only been reading Lenormand for about a year. I guess it has been just over a year now. So basically, if you're not familiar, Kelly's channel is called The Truth in Story. Her Lenormand is called Story in Color. I hope that's what I said before. I might have said something strange. So basically her deck concept was to distill down the traditional Lenormand images into colors, right? What colors encompass the feeling of that card, right? So we have the whip as one example, birds, child. So what is the essence, or what is the color that would get us to that meaning for the Lenormand? So why I think it's so cool, I actually got this, her Story in Color, the original one, was out of print, and when I looked on her website, whenever this was, probably a year ago, it said, you know, second edition in the works for this year, which would have been last year, 2019. But then after a while, that note disappeared, I think, because she was working on other things, which we'll get to. So I was like, oh no. And I put a comment on one of her videos. I said, are you still planning to do this? I didn't hear anything back. It was an old video. And again, she was working on other creative endeavors at that time. So I'm like, oh, I bet I missed my chance. And then a few weeks later, I think it was, she posted in her Facebook group, hey, I found 5 decks, I think it was. I found 5 Story in Color decks in my storage unit, and first come, first serve. And I could not believe that I saw the post right when I did, and I claimed one, and I was so excited because I had been coveting this for quite a while. Oh my gosh, was so happy. Then, her other projects aside, she came out with a Story in Color mini. Had to have it, obviously. So what's really cool is if you read Lenormand and you use houses, then I won't get into that because it'll go on forever, but you can use the mini, like let's say the Sun card. So if you lay them down 1 to 36 in order, those are the houses, and then you would shuffle and lay your grand tableau on top of those houses, whichever order they came up in, right? So, oh, I have the rider, but it's mini. So let's say in place 17, your house would be the stork, and then let's say the 17th card you happen to shuffle and lay out for your grand tableau was the sun, and then you would put that on top of your house card, and then you can see the name of the house. And then if you again use that kind of layering in your reading, then it's right there and you can see everything easily. And you should just see, well, in my intro there's a photo of a grand tableau laid out on top of the houses, and it's just amazing. So this is super perfect. And because I've been kind of studying this for the year, spring 2019 to the present, I'm getting to that point where I'm kind of diving into that next deeper layer of using houses, of using all those extra, you know, using knighting and tracing cards back, kind of adding on those, what I would consider a little more advanced layers of a grand tableau reading. These have been really key for me to have during this time, and they've definitely been helping me during this lockdown. So that's that. Another thing that has been helping me through lockdown is, this is like the Kelly Fitzgerald show now. I received those other projects that I mentioned that Kelly had been working on. Oh, the tuck box though, I'm not even cramming those in there right now. Okay, so the other projects that Kelly was working on was her journey tokens, which I have, but they're not part of this little spiel. I have Kelly's Journey Oracle, and she made a regular and a mini, because why wouldn't you want the mini? Oh my gosh. So here's the regular size, and these little bags come, this is an example of her journey token, right? Comes on the bags. And then she also includes a D20, because this goes in with her whole tokens Oracle card system. You don't have to use it, but she includes one in each, so that is awesome. And then here's an actual token without the punch in it. And this one is an additional token. It's called Signs. So this is not part of the Journey token system, but it's a regular, or it's an extra one that comes with the Journey Oracle cards, I think. I hope I'm not mixing that up. I don't think I'd have it in this bag. Anyway, so these are hexagon shape oracles. Let me do it this way in case the window is being crazy. And I just love everything that you can do with this deck. You can make really cool spreads and patterns with a hexagon shape. Full moon manifest. You notice how it's like the stars in her Lenormand deck, right? I can't wait to just do some huge mess of a spread using just everything of hers. It's going to be awesome. Air sign, right? And you can read these directionally if you want to get into all of that. So that's cool too. Really super awesome. Higher conscious guidance. I'm going to put it closer. That was something I tried to learn from my first video. Let me show you just a couple more here. North, so it has directions, elements, chakra points, upper world, underworld, middle world. Just a really cool oracle deck that includes a lot of different categories or kind of suits. And I have not printed the books yet, but it comes with really awesome books similar to the Journey tokens, but the Journey Oracle cards have some colored photos in that include these. So the content is a lot the same, I guess, but there are some additional pages. I haven't actually printed the Journey tokens book yet, so I'm gonna definitely print the one that has these color versions in it, and I need to do that soon actually. So I can, right now I've just been playing with them, doing a little 3-card honeycomb layout or something. I've just been kind of playing with them on my own and not really using the Kelly system, but I plan to do that for some of the time that I use these cards. And so that's kind of on my lockdown to-do list, is get that book printed so I can start kind of integrating those systems all together. But I love just holding these, flipping through them when I'm sitting, hanging out on the couch, whatever, just kind of getting to know these. So because I received these while in lockdown, I'm including them because they've been kind of one of my new toys, one of my new go-tos during this time. What else? This is just kind of a little throw in. This is a little bag that I received from a clothing retailer, a friend of mine who sells clothes through an online shop, and she was doing a giveaway for Earth Day. Like, if you spend so much, you got one of her tote bags and a little zipper canvas bag. And I thought, now is the time to get a couple new shirts because I can get one of these bags and of course use it for a tarot deck. So I haven't decided what's going in here yet, but this is made by Love of Fashion in New York. Here's their little tag. So need to decide which deck is going in here, but this is kind of a new fun thing that I just wanted to throw in. A lockdown helper, right? Receiving gifts. And last but not least, let's go to the 2 crystals that I've been kind of relying on the most during this time. They're awesome crystals. I have a bunch that I haven't been using because we moved at the very end of February, and then we had kind of 2 weeks before all the craziness kicked off, and during those 2 weeks we were unpacking and getting settled in. My tarot room is not fully settled or unpacked yet, so a lot of things that I will eventually be showing you are still kind of packed away. But 2 crystals that I keep in my monthly tarot bag, whichever deck I'm using for the month for my daily draws. One of them is this Carnelian Heart, and I got this at the shop where I work here in my area. Not working there currently, we're closed. The owner is doing some curbside pickups, but I usually do tarot readings there, so we're not doing that right now, of course. But this Carnelian Heart is amazing. Here's what I call the back side of it. It's really kind of foggy. I don't know how well it's showing up, of course, but it's just so amazing, and I had to have it. Bought this a couple years ago. So this always stays in with my tarot, my little bag that I carry in a much larger tarot bag. But anyway, this stays right next to the deck that I use in the shop. But since we haven't been in there, I've been keeping it with my monthly deck. The other one, I believe this is Green Aventurine. My friend Jordan, who used to work at the shop, he gave me this along with like a citrine point on like a black like thread, like cloth necklace. I don't know what to call it. It's leather maybe? I don't know. But anyway, he gave me, when he left the shop, he gave me a bunch of parting gifts, and it was just so sweet. I think he gave me one other crystal plus the citrine point. Can't really remember. But he gave me this to keep with my little tarot tip. I had like an abalone shell, and when he came in and I gave me those gifts that day, I put them in there in my little tip jar. So this is super amazing, and these two together I just really love. When I'm doing client readings, I take these out of my monthly bag, even if I'm not using that deck, and kind of use these to start off my meditation. I'll usually do 20 or 30 minutes meditation prior to doing a client reading, and I really love these to kind of get me centered and thinking about the person I'm doing the reading for. So those would be my two crystals that are my main helpers during lockdown. And the deck that I was using for March was the White Sage Tarot. So then I kind of continued that for the first part of April, or the midway point in April through the end, because I stopped midway through March with my daily stuff, right? So I thought I really liked that combination I was using, so I'm going to go back. So I was using the White Sage Tarot, and I won't show these because I think a lot of you have seen them, but I'll probably do a little, flip through of some favorites as we go on, right? This is my only second episode, so I'll just leave it. So I was using the White Sage during that midpoint of March, and then I kind of dropped the ball, and I thought, I don't want to go to my next one. I really want to use this for, a full month. So I went back to the White Sage, and then with it, my oracle for March was the Starseed Oracle by Rebecca Campbell and Danielle Noel. And I'm sorry, this White Sage Tarot is by Theresa Hutch. I believe this is still available, as is the Starseed Oracle, I believe. Should be fine. Hay House Publishing put this one out, and I super love this deck. I love a good earthy grounding deck, but I'm a Star Cosmo Starseed person, and I love this deck. So I lied. Let me just show you a combination of them because they really work so well together. Let me just see what I can find. Okay, let's use this adorable Fool. Here's the Fool. That's her little dog. I call it a puppy because it's small, but I think I don't know what it is. A Wheatland Terrier. That's probably wrong. But anyway, super cute. And then let me show you one with the Starseed because, oh, it's just amazing. Of course, now I chose a puppy, and that's like a very earthy thing. But look, as I said that, earthed. That's the card that I flipped right to when I said earthy things. So now we have the Fool and earthed. See, they work really well together. So that was my half of March and half of April deck. So that was definitely something that helped me because when I got back to the daily draws, this was my go-to to start out. Let me get this just sort of put back together. Really cool box too for the Starseed. So see, beautiful. Okay, so those were my half of March, half of April decks. And then at the beginning of May, I had lots of work stuff going on and I wasn't right on top of things to do the daily draw. But I think it was on the 6th, May 6th, I'm like, okay, full moon time, let's, kick off this daily thing. I've only done it twice since then, but that's okay. If you are still working on your New Year's intentions and you fell off the wagon because of COVID, it's okay. You can start back up today. It's going to be fine. So another new thing I've received while on lockdown, because it's been on my list for a long time, but I saw someone in the Hermit's Cave Facebook group post that there was a little sale on this. So I thought, now is the time. Luminous Void, now is the time. So, received this, and I thought that will be my deck for May. And to go with it, I chose the Native Spirit Oracle cards by Denise Linn. I'm trying to think this creator. Oh, it's right here. Luminous Void Tarot by Laura Zuspan. It says right there. So, the Native Spirit Oracle, this one, I didn't think about this pairing as much as I maybe think about the previous ones I've done, or I'll usually kind of think a month ahead, like, oh, that'll be cool, I'll write that combination down for next time. This time, admittedly, I was just like, you know what, what's in this? I have several tarot bags, but the one that's in my little workstation right now, I thought I will just pick something, one of the Oracle decks out of here. And I thought, you know what, this is going to work just fine, I think. So I think I won't show any of these because maybe I'll save that for another video. It's still May. Maybe I will use these in an upcoming video. So anyway, really good. I did post one on my Instagram a few days ago of the 10 of Cups and the Shapeshifter or something, and they worked out pretty well. So I'm excited to see what else comes up with these. And again, I'll skip showing any of those cards because I think maybe that will be in another upcoming video. And I think that's it. I've reached the end of my pile of treasures here for my lockdown helpers. So thank you again to Sandra for this tag. I'm excited to catch the rest of them. I think, well, I'll leave that. I'll stop rambling. I just wanted to mention a couple other things that were not tarot or spiritual related that have helped me during lockdown. Watching Harry Potter. We have one more disc. We started this maybe a week or two ago. If it's too late at night, then we don't watch it because I have a 2-year-old and I don't want him to have, crazy visions in his head right before he goes to sleep. But on the weekends especially, we've been having kind of early dinner and watching Harry Potter, and that has really helped me because I'm a super fan, and that's just been really comforting. Taking walks, which is something I liked to do before but didn't have a lot of time. Again, right before all of this happened, we lived about 90 minutes away from where I work and about an hour and 20 minutes away from family, and so didn't have a lot of time for walks because the weekends were just used for catching everything up that we didn't have time to do during the week because we drove so much. So basically, taking walks, it's a really simple thing, but has really been helping me. So I would suggest if you've been kind of cooped up and just not really feeling it, just do it. Just get outside for a little bit. Even if you walk down half your street and come back home, the walks have been really helping me. The last thing that I wanted to mention was dancing. So I previously danced with a professional modern company in the area, and I've been out of that for a couple of years because was off for maternity leave, had my son, and then the formulation of that company kind of changed while I was gone. That dance studio went under some changes, and just schedule wise and everything else, it just kind of wasn't working out. So this spring I was kind of coming back into dance, and I thought maybe I'll find a class here or there that I can get back into. Won't be as intensive as before with all the rehearsals and everything, but just something to kind of keep me moving. And of course now that's not happening. So I thought, you know what? The weekend before last, I went for a little drive. My husband was hanging out with my son, and I thought, you know what? I'm just going to take a little mom break right now. Went driving around, was a little rebellious and got an iced coffee. And then I just went to a school parking lot and parked because I thought, what am I going to do? Am I going to read one of my tarot books? And there was just a little hill with some dandelions on it. And I thought, you know what? Impromptu dance performance. I'm just going to, you know, flip my phone on, record a little video. I didn't have music on or anything because I don't know how to do that and record at the same time. I think there are apps, but I'm old and I'm not very techy and I don't know how to do that. So I just recorded it, and then I found an app that you can like layer a song on after the fact. So while I was dancing, I just kind of hummed something in my head, and then I found the song I wanted and put it on top of the video, so to speak, and it kind of worked. So it was just a fun little thing I did, kind of getting back to dance in a very informal way, but I thought I might as well just make use of what I have, the power of coffee and just dancing in the dandelions. So those things have helped me immensely during this time. I think I'm really done now. So thank you for tuning in to my second video. I hope to be back soon, probably with another tag, just so I can kind of get caught up with some things. And if you would like to participate in this tag, please do so and use hashtag lockdownhelpers. Is that what it is? Yes, I didn't write it down, but it's hashtag lockdownhelpers. I will put links to Simon, Sandra, Kelly, and hopefully anyone else I've mentioned in the description for this. And I just wanted to say thanks again for tuning in and hope you have a good one. Love to you all.